Hi, welcome to Ideaspring's Founder in Focus podcast series. Today I have with me Sriram and Surya, who are the co-founders of Litemed, and would go through their journey of what they have done to build Litemed to where it is today, and look forward to having a great conversation with them. So Sriram and Surya, welcome. Great to have you here, and we have been having a long association, but it'd be beautiful and awesome to bring out some of the key challenges and the positives and the negatives you guys have gone through in building Lightmate to where it is today. So let me start off with you, Shriram, by asking, quickly, what has been the journey so far? When did you start, and why did you start?
I would have to step back a little bit, Naganand, and tell you about. So I worked in tech for a long time, mostly in the US, then came back to India. So had a lot of exposure to healthcare in the US. So coming from the tech space, the synergy between tech and healthcare, that's the future of healthcare. So when you see that, you see so many opportunities opening out. So that is where I kind of found like my calling per se when I came out of NYU. So I came back to India and then, met with Dr. Surya. And that's where our journey started because Surya brings the kind of out of the box thinking in a way that you don't see in a lot of people. So when we talk about building a solution, he's able to see how it can be really conceptualize it and actually bring a product to reality. So that is where the synergy between us started. And both of us wanted the same thing. We wanted to build something in the healthcare space that really made a difference to existing status quo. And that's where wearable therapeutics, the only company in India right now building wearable therapeutics for pain management, literally creating a segment, a category, and defining it and taking the journey forward. So it's been a roller coaster ride. To put it
It's
very
about 3 years now since you guys started it.
it's 3 years now. So when we started it, we knew what we were building, but it was continuously like, okay, we'll get this clinically validated. Well, because we need to get the endorsement on the medical fraternity. We started off with that step-by-step process of building a product, taking to clinical trials, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of details to add on that. And then taking it to the market was actually a learning.
Well, come back to the market later on, but just wanted to get the initial journey, how you guys. So that's how. When did you meet Surya, and how did you meet Surya?
Met with Surya at the startup event. So that's where we networked and met. And then we kind of like the what we wanted to build was similar, although what it was kind of like we defined down the road.
So Surya, I always have it. I can't call you Doctor Surya. I'll only call you Surya because that's how I've been call you. But I know you're a doctor. And in our conversations before, you have mentioned that you have been dabbling with startups even when you are in your undergrad, right? Now, tell me specifically. I will not go into those things, but on Lightmed, what made you think about this product, and also more specifically on the tech behind it, right? One of the very few companies that is using near infrared. What made you conceive this idea, and why NIR, and why pain management?
Surely, Naganand. Firstly, thank you so much for giving me and Sriram this opportunity to talk about Lightmode and Curapod. We've been technically sitting in that conference room having a discussions right from product development to regulatory to even business model. So those discussions has really helped us tune what Lightmode is today, and then it has brought us where we are. And thanks to you, thanks to Ideaspring for supporting our journey throughout. Uh, and now, to answer your question, I need to take you back to my college days. As part of, I've done Doctor of Pharmacy. So, as part of academics, we are supposed to do prescription analysis. So, during that time, I was introduced to the terms like side effects, adverse drug reactions, contraindications, drug-drug interactions. So now our job is to go analyze the prescription, find out were there any side effects or adverse effects, and then report it to the authorities. At the same time, do the patient counseling part. So that is when I've understood that okay, you take any medication, even you Google it, X medication, are there any side effects? You'll get a list of side effects, list of adverse effects, list of contraindications. Now imagine people who are having chronic diseases and using these medications every day. It means you pop in a pill, it comes with a predisposed indication that you might face these things, and to mitigate that you are supposed to take another pill. So that is when I understood that okay, for chronic disease management, so there should be something where people should be able to take it and without causing any side effects, without causing any adverse effects, where they should be able to use it for a long period of time, and yet the solution should be providing similar impact as a pharmaceutical. So that was the sole idea of starting a non-invasive therapeutics. So I worked on that and then understood, okay, what are the different technologies which are there currently which can be used here. So I have even given a lot of presentations on transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulations, can it be used, and then tried multiple options and then understood that, okay, photobiomodulation can be used on wide range of applications. Photobiomodulation is nothing but using light to alleviate pain or to alleviate different conditions in the body. It has got large set of applications.
Where did that originate from?
The photobiomodulation is large from past few decades. People were using photobiomodulation. It is nothing but using red light or near infrared light to alleviate different conditions. But there were certain limitations for these particular light therapies. One is the penetration in the human body. So if you see, you take any red light or you take near infrared light, the penetration in the human body is only 4 to 5 mm. So, but if you take a condition, for example, you take arthritis or any other condition, they are like 20-30 mm underneath the skin, right? If the light is not reaching there, so what people have converted this light technology into topical heating system. And topical heating systems cannot be used for chronic conditions because everyday use heat, there will be some impact, right? So that is when the first step is we wanted to create a light therapy product where we don't want to use the heat, but we wanted to penetrate as deep. So that is the first problem that we have solved. Our device Curapod can penetrate close to
So you have this device here, right?
so it can penetrate close to 60 to 70 mm in the human body. And another thing is not only that, so each human, it's an external application. Each human body is different. For example, your skin color is different from my skin color. Your BMI is different from my BMI. The pain sites are different. My pain site is totally different from your pain site. So now, for example, if I place Curapod on my skin, imagine, and another white skin, so the absorption parameters changes, right? So that's where we have created adaptive pain management system where the device will give a personalized dose according to the individual requirement by calibrating all these factors. So that's how the entire journey started.
Is NIR safe for human beings?
Yeah, it comes in a biological band. It is safe. So even, in fact, like even for Curapod, before getting into the market, so what we have done is, as Curapod is being used on chronic conditions, so what we have done initially, we have even done animal studies, understood, okay, is the light that is coming out of the device, is it causing any skin irritation or cytotoxicity is there? And then we even done cell cultural studies to find out all the in vitro cytotoxicity impacts, and post that we have done human clinical trials. And there are certain safety certifications. For example, the light which is coming out of Curapod is as safe as light which are sitting under. So there is something called photobiological safety certification, which is called IEC 62471. We have already certified with that.
So people, general public can
Yeah.
very safely use
Yeah.
it without having to worry about
Yeah.
any side effects.
Yes, they can use it.
In fact, my sister has, my mother and my sister, they have all used this one.
Yeah, they love the product. Yeah.
So you had this product, Sriram, and then what was your approach to sell? Because did you think you should sell to consumers directly, to sell to doctors, through doctors? So how did you guys kind of converge on what should be the go-to-market strategy? How can you scale? So could just take me through that briefly on the journey that you guys had in building Litemed to where it is today.
So we were very strongly biased towards the doctor's market initially because we focused on getting medical validation for the product, and that has to come from the doctors. So all our efforts towards getting that through the certifications, through the clinical trials, was to get the doctors to look at Curapod, try it on their patients, and give us the confirmation that this is the results, amazing results that we're getting. So, and we thought that's the approach we will take to go and build the credibility of Curapod in the market. And then therefore we started to the doctors. We presented in orthopedic conferences, and we did camps with doctors extensively. So Curapod is a product that has been always gone through extensive validation right from the prototyping stage. We always were getting feedback from the customers on how they're responding to, and that feedback kept getting factored into making this what it is today. So once we do that, and we went through the doctor's route, then we understood the scalability of the market. Are we the ones for cut out for it? We are a product-based company. We're an innovation company. We have a pipeline of products that we're building. Are we the ones who can take this the way a big pharma company does through the doctors? Is that the way that we want to see ourselves evolve? And having done that, we also understood the pros and cons. One is getting the doctor's validation is a huge thing, but scaling it across the country to thousands of doctors, that is something that would take a lot of time and effort and resources.
And where did you do this experimentation with the doctors?
Primarily in Hyderabad. Hyderabad was kind of like a launch pad where we attended the first orthopedic conference in 2022, 23, Tosocon. And the feedback we got from the doctors was very encouraging. And even then, eventually also the doctors were recommending it to their patients. And then we were doing the fulfillment to the patients. So it was going through the doctors to the end consumers. So that was a lot of learning for us on how people are responding through, when doctors prescribe it, what is the way people take to that prescription, and how we do the fulfillment. And then we saw that these we can start engaging directly with the patients or the consumers, because this is a wearable device. It is for the end consumer. The doctor is just a channel. So, and once we got that validation, realized that we can directly start engaging with the end consumer, we felt that we should go create an awareness for this product online, because this is a first of a kind solution out there, and is a only wearable therapeutic device that addresses limitations of what people are looking for. Either there's too much of medication or too much of dependency on physiotherapy for continuous pain management. That's where Curapod really kind of resonates with people who have to deal with pain on a daily basis. So the messaging, when you put it out there, we immediately were able to see that connect with people. People are really looking for solution that is different from what is out there today. They're looking for safety, looking for convenience, they're looking for, like a simple example. You have a neck pain, Naganand, you can just wear this device and keep driving to home. And by the time you reach home, your pain is subsided. So this is a kind of like a game changer, the way pain management can be, re-envisioned for the end consumer. That is what they're really looking for a solution like. So we went online, and that's where we found our mark of, we started pretty in a small way in November. And today we are at a point where we're clocking 1 crore a month revenue in just a.
So did you have to spend in terms of marketing to reach this? Because one of the things that you normally come across is when you're trying to sell anything B2C or D2C, people always talk about marketing budget and so on and so forth, because we always, even I used to believe, you have to spend quite a bit. What has been our experience in Litemed in terms of hitting this 1 crore revenue? What has been the marketing spend approximately?
See, as a new product, we are create awareness. So the initial spends are always there to reach your target audience far and wide. You have to create that awareness for people know that Curapod is there. So the initial spends are in terms of creating that awareness. So when you do that, then there's something called return on ad spend. So, and any company that's launching a product online into the market, so the initial return on ad spend is always low. But if you look at in this space,
But I know we are managed with very little cash, right? Unlike any other product. So where have we innovated in terms of our marketing? Because innovation doesn't need to be technology. Innovation can also be marketing, right? So yeah.
To answer that question, Anand, so our experience has helped us a lot with respect to this thing. So when we were in the doctor's route, we had interacted with over 400, 500 doctors. And during that time, we also had a chance, we were giving physical demos to the customers. And now we've understood the different personas, because as we had a chance to go in-house at home demos, so we had interacted with the customers, and then we understood, okay, what is the right communication that we are supposed to do. So I can actually tell that in our D2C, B2C campaigns now, our communication is actually, we are hitting the right point. So people are, people are actually able to relate with us because we've understood. To give you an example, if there is a hotelier who stands for more than 8 to 10 hours in a day, it means we exactly understood what is the pain point, how do we communicate to them. So that we were able to understand, just because we were able to do at-home demos, we were able to go deliver the unit and then talk to the customer. We ensured that the first 8 to 9 months of the product launch in the market, we ensure that we talk to every single customer, understand how they are using. Because when you're in the product room, when you're doing R&D, right, you'll understand, okay, this is the way you're supposed to use the product. But when the product is given to the customer, when you're giving it as a free piece, it's a different story. But when the consumer is purchasing the product, it is his own point, like how he uses the product, when is he using the product, how many times is he using the product. So it gives a lot of insights to us, and then this is where we've actually nurtured our communication, and then this gave us a lot of bandwidth to foundation to actually communicate in our B2C route.
So you're saying understanding your customers and the use cases that they would use for, and then creating marketing material that's very, very focused around these use cases is hitting the market much better than just arbitrary wide marketing. So you're saying that the 2-3 years experience you had in talking to people and doctors and other things kind of helped you to And then compared to the industry standards, are you saying that, what is your ad spend compared to industry standard to get to this kind of accrued number? How much are we, are we doing extraordinarily well in that?
We have done extraordinarily well because we understand who our target customers are. Like we look at,
Like what, give me a ratio, if some company typically spends X, how much are we spending? 0.5x, 0.3x, what is it?
depends. I think, see, we are a company as a startup. We are conscious of the money that we have and we spend, right?
If you want to pick a number, what would that be compared to industry standard?
Say 0.5x or something of some other of companies that are doing better than us. But our returns on that are much better because our communications are very focused on our target audiences. So we focus on the seniors and we focus on people in fitness space. And so that's where the resonance is.
So tell me on the user experience, right? Because this product obviously is going to end consumers, and you said that you were with the few set of customers initially and saw how we used. But in these kinds of products, the biggest challenge is you ship a product, you don't know how it's getting used, what pain points people are having. So take us through some of the key challenges you had in evolving this product to where it is today.
So yeah, so initially we have actually built the so right, like we have actually built the Curapod to use it with the application, but we had faced issues with respect to the connectivity and all, and then we've taken a decision. Okay, we will let the consumers use the unit manually. So that is where, because we as part of the regulatory, we can only give switch on, because in 30 minutes the user cannot switch off the unit. So as it is a touch, even if the consumer just touches the unit, it was getting switched on. And also we evolved eventually based on the experience, the inputs from the customers, and then throughout now our app is also getting launched, so people will be using the unit without any hassles. But with respect to the efficiency point of view, I can say that more than 90% of our customers who are using the product, if they are sticking to the protocols, for example, using the unit continuously for 2 weeks, uh, every one of them have got good pain relief, and they were able to change, it was able to change their life to live normal.
So going back to that pain relief, right? I mean, like we all have discussed before, there is no specific way to measure pain, right? I mean, pain is a very relative term. I have too much pain, I have little pain, I have no pain. What does it mean? When you say they'll get relief, what do you mean by relief?
See, Narayan, like I'll tell you, there is a score called visual analog score. It is pain is like pain is a perception, right? So, for example, you might say you have a throbbing pain. I'll come and say I have a very strong pain, like I'm unable to walk. So we will measure certain parameters, like there is something called visual analog score. We'll ask people, can you rate your pain before using the product? So on a scale of 0 to 10, they'll be rating, like if it is 10, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, then it is a very severe pain. So before using the product, they will be selecting one particular score. If it is 9, and then after 30 minutes of session, what is the score? And then we will collect the same again. So there is a reduction. For example, from 9 to 5, it means like 40% reduction of pain which has happened. And not only that, we will also ask our customers, okay, after using the product, is your flexion enhanced? For example, there will be muscle stiffness or something where they will not be able to move the hand or like something like that, right? After using the product, are you feeling comfortable? Are you feeling good? So people will immediately be able to come back and say, hey, after using the product, I'm feeling better now. My pain has reduced, my pain has subsided. I'm able to walk better. For plantar fasciitis people who are having heel pain, because of the pain, they'll not be able to walk. So after using Curapod for more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks, now they're saying that, okay, I'm able to walk for at least 2 to 3 kilometers. Even earlier, I was only walking for 100, 200 meters. Now I'm back.
So you're qualitatively measuring.
Yeah, people are able to get back to their lifestyles or what they used to do before. That's the kind of like the where the real relief factor comes out.
So also, like, tell me, like, you brought up this medication thing, right, with side effects. Now, this is pain management, right? It's not curing of pain. How long do people have to use Curapod? It's like pain medication. You keep on taking it till the pain goes away, or what is the process that people are going to use Curapod?
Yeah, Naganand, for example, our initial protocol when we ship the product to the people is we'll ask people to use at least for 2 weeks, twice in a day. After that, like, people will see visible difference, significant difference pre and post usage of Curapod. But pain will come back based on, like, for example, your pain got relief today, but upon physical exertion it might come back because at any instance. So then we're asking people to again restart using the device for day twice.
People ask you, what do you mean? Like typically, because it's not doctor prescribed, right? So you provide the consulting services to the your customers, or what do you mean by you tell it? How do you, is it app that is guiding them? How is this process happening?
So in the instruction manual, we clearly given indication saying that okay, you're supposed to use 2 weeks, twice in a day. For acute pain, there is a protocol. For chronic pain, there is another protocol. However, we also, the moment we ship the product to the customer, we also get on a call with the person, customer, and then we give them a demo how to use the product, when to use the product, where to use the product. As we've launched the product, it's been 1 year. We wanted to keep in touch with our customers, ensure them use the product regularly. So we also occasionally calling the customers back, finding out whether they're using or not. If they're facing any challenges, we'll still go back and then clarify their questions like that. So we're maintaining that customer company relationship good because yeah, we have to go a long way.
So Sriram, coming to the business side of it, tell me some of the key challenges you've had in the past 3 years. Near-death experiences, or just customers are hating a thing, doctors are not selling. So what has been some of your biggest experiences that has kind of emboldened you or given you more confidence to say, no, we can take this to all the way? And Surya, you can also add to that if...
So when we went through the B2B route, so that was where we saw success, but we also understood what is the way to sell Curapod and who is our real target audience. That was a big learning when we went through the doctors. As we went through the doctors, with the validation, we also understood that scaling through this doctor route is going to be a challenge. It's not something that's going to happen. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of bandwidth and resources. So it took us almost a year. That year was actually a very strong learning. It's laying the foundations for where we are today. Because what we did understand, we have so many doctors recommending Curapod. So we know Curapod works. It works for all kinds of pain conditions. We also saw who's using Curapod, who are the doctors prescribing Curapod to. We saw that. So we could see all the different pain conditions, all the different customer profiles that are using Curapod. We saw that through the doctors. But at the same time, when we go to the doctors, the engagement of the doctors who's working on multiple things is not going to give us the kind of scalability that we want. So with that learning, we pulled back and said, okay, we know who our target customer is. And we know how Curapod...
So B2B to B2C was
a direct one. So when we switched from B2B, we switched to D2C because now we know what is the communication that we need to make. So that was the biggest challenge, was the B2B learning. There were positives and negatives coming out of that space. And of course, we faced challenges through fundraising. Why did we face the challenge? Because we are in the wellness product-based solution. And in India, it is still not a place where there are reference points for a lot of investors to look and say, how is this going to grow or how is it going to evolve? So a lot of questions were asked of us like, okay, you're saying this is what you have, you've done clinical trials, you've done regulatory, first of a kind solution, all that. But is the customer going to, they don't know. So it's a lot of VCs were asking us on a wait and watch mode. So we had to go and keep continuously validating and keep moving the needle towards revenues, towards customer acquisition for people to see that yes, this is something that is needed, and we have built a solution that is really required in society. Right? So today we have
two things. One is moving from B2B to D2C was one challenge. Second challenge was raising capital. So how did you solve the second problem of not having enough money to run the company? What did you guys do?
So we innovated. So one thing about Litemed, we are a very frugal startup. Some of the things that we have done, I think, we did clinical trials on a shoestring budget. We set up a regulatory compliant manufacturing unit on a shoestring budget. Today, if you say we're going to launch a new product, we have the complete knowledge run book with us in terms of ideation to doing the prototype, then doing the clinical trials, getting it regulatory approved, launching it into the market. Just a very, very small team that has built this kind of capability. I think it's a very, very rare DNA for a startup.
So So Surya, do you have anything else? I have one more question for you on the. Yeah.
I mean, with respect to business, right? For a hardware product like Curapod, so marketing, B2B, B2C, everything plays a major role. But another thing is like our supply chain has to be correct. We should be able to as it is a hardware product, we are physically supposed to manufacture it in our unit. And initially, our volumes are not high, right? So, and there are a lot of electronic components which are involved. And if you see the MOQs of electronic components would be in few lakhs. So we faced a lot of issues with respect to setting the supply chain right, and now slowly and mostly what we have understood in the entire journey was, though we were having, for example, even when we were in the B2B route, we had orders like bulk orders like 500,000 and all, but we are unable to make the device available.
So just quickly, how many devices are you selling in a month now?
Currently, we are selling around 1,500 to 2,000 units in a month at the today. And we are manufacturing only to that extent now, so that's the reason we're expanding to a new factory as well. But what we have understood back then was supply chain plays a major role in the entire ecosystem. We need to make the units available because being in the B2C road, there are a lot of even businesses would come, gyms would come to us, physiotherapy centers would come to us. They'll ask for bulk orders. So what we understood, we need to at least maintain a certain 1/4 of inventory at least to scale the business up. That's where we'll be able to run the.
But that involves cost.
Yeah, it involves cost.
It's money.
Yeah, we're still figuring it out. We'll do that.
So tell me about the platform, right? I mean, it's Curapod is not, this is a Curapod, right? I mean, it's looks quite nice, but it's not a one-trick pony, right? So what is your thought on how we are looking at this entire pain management as a platform?
Yeah, Nan. So we are planning to create wearable non-invasive therapeutics. So like what we have done so far is we've created a technology platform where it can be scalable to multiple applications. And now we're coming up with another product for women's health, for menstrual pain, PCOD, PCOS. We've already conceptualized this. We're planning to launch the product probably in the month of November.
I think it's a huge market for that, with working women and
50% of the living population is women, and then it's a recurrent. Every month they will have
18 to 50 age typically, right?
18 to 48 and age, and then we are actually targeting to solve that particular problem. At the same time, we also have some other products as well called diabetic neuropathy and other things, but it is still a way for us to go there. But currently we are focusing on menstrual pain, but we as a company wanted to build multiple products, have a product launch every year. In that way, we are actually planning to work now regarding that.
So both of you need to answer this question. Start with you, Sriram. So what's your vision? So when somebody says Litemed, what do you want that to be?
Associated with like pain.
One sentence on your vision.
Pain relief.
So anybody who has any pain going forward should never take a tablet. They are always
Look at Litemed and the solutions that we build for different pain solutions.
Surya, yours.
I don't know whether I'll be able to answer in one word or not, but I'll take a little time. So for instance, one sentence, yeah. So we are front-ending wearable therapeutics market. So if you see in 2008, Naganand, like the wearable industry started just with one small Fitbit as a company, and now if you see the wearable market, it is close to $150-200 billion market annually. And we are just starting with now wearables are getting evolved to wearable therapeutics, and we are front-ending that particular.
I would say if you have pain, think Curapod. You have pain, think Litemed, right? Cool. Now, thanks, gentlemen, and been awesome talking to you. And I wish you both of you a lot of luck because you'll need that. Your hard work needs to be, you need to have luck as well. And I'm quite sure you'll be building an awesome company out of India. But I also wish you luck in taking this product across the world. Thanks a lot. Thanks.